That's right. Mike's back. Mike the Sports Guy here. Yeah, it's been a couple months. I haven't uploaded anything since June. I don't remember when I did my last sports thing. I think the last time I shot a sports thing, the Yankees were 0-3 and the Orioles were 3-0. Well, guess what? The Yankees are back in first place, but they're tied with the Orioles. Go figure. That's a whole other thing I'm going to get to in a few minutes. But it's Wednesday, September 5th. NFL season's opening tonight. Now, ordinarily, they've been opening on Thursday night. Tomorrow night, President Obama has accepted the nomination of his party, and out of respect to President Obama, they're starting the season tonight. Between you, me, and Michael Caine, and a lot of other people, Giants and Cowboys fans probably watching the game even before tomorrow night. Wouldn't affect the rating so much of the game, but some people would be able to watch the president, do want to watch the president, so there you go. Okay, Giants are healthier. Started the season, they were started last season. Got a tougher schedule because they're the Super Bowl champions. Finished 9-7 last year. They do have talent. I think they're still going to be better than last year, even with the tough schedule. I haven't really totally analyzed it, but I hear what everyone else is saying. I think we're still looking at least 10-6, 11-5, if not better. And I think they're going to win the division again. I just think they're the best. And they've got the combination is quarterback and coach. NFL, especially now more than ever, it's all about your quarterback and your coach. Tony Romo's got some talent. Jason Garrett, I think eventually will be a decent coach. Right now, offensively, he's got some challenges. I liked him when he was the backup quarterback. I always thought I liked Jason Garrett. Okay, but I hate the Cowboys, but I like Jason Garrett. I always respected Tom Landry. I always respected Roger Staubach. Had a begrudging respect for Danny White. He was no Roger Staubach. But I hate the Cowboys. You know, probably goes back to Dallas, 1963, Dealey Plaza. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway. And I'm a Giants fan, so you gotta hate the Cowboys if you're a self-respecting Giants fan. You know, grew up in New York and lived in New Jersey too, so I do expect the Giants to win the division. Let's focus on tonight first. Giants, based on what I've seen in the preseason, what I've heard from others who've watched in the preseason, they're definitely more game ready than the Cowboys, and it's the Giants' house. They're going to be raising the championship banner tonight. So I know the Cowboys feel like this is a big game for them too, and they're tired of losing to the Giants on the opener 5 years in a row. But it's the Giants game. I hate to predict the score, but I know people want to hear that kind of stuff, so this game counts. You're going to have the starters playing. Eli is Eli. We're looking at somewhere between 28-17 Giants, 31-23 Cowboys at best. I think the Giants are good for at least 7-8 points. Let's make the spreads 3.5 or 4.5. I'm not betting. Don't do that, but you know, I'm just saying. But I do expect the Giants to win. They're at home. I think Eli is superior. Romo's got some skills, but his head is not. He doesn't have the head and the heart that Eli has got. Jason Witten is questionable tonight. I think he's going to play, but apparently he's banged up just like that Gronkowski guy was in the Super Bowl for New England. They've got some other questionable things. And the Giants' defense is dominant. Let's face it. Cowboys' defense not shabby, but it's the boys in blue. It's Big Blue tonight again. Somewhere between 28-17 and 31-23. Take your pick, something like that. I expect the Giants to score at least 28 points. Don't expect the Cowboys to score more than 23. So, there you go. For the year, right now, first of all, I'm a fan. I'm a Giant fan. Have been since 69, 70. So, got to go with the Gents. But they're the defending champions. They're healthier to start the season, even with the tougher schedule. I do think they seem to have the Cowboys' number right now. Eagles got to show me. And frankly, my heart goes out to Andy Reid and his family, and the tragedy with his son. I don't care how dedicated he is. It's got to be hard for him to give his 100%, 110%. Being what's going on, there's a lot of pressure. The owners kind of let him know. Two, they expect better results than last year. I think they probably will be better than 8-8. But I don't think they're going to beat the Giants twice. And all the Giants really need is a split. And with their other stuff going on, they're going to take care of business. I do think there's no way the Giants are not going to... There's no way they're going to lose 2 in a row to Redskins again. Two games to the Redskins like they did last year. That's not happening. RG3's got some talent, but he's going to get some growing pains. I still think the Giants are the class in that division. I know the popular picks are either Eagles or Cowboys, and almost everyone ignoring the freaking Giants. Although I think Frank Caliendo this afternoon picked the Giants, so did not know that when I made my pick, but found out after the fact. So I expect the Giants to win tonight. Although if they don't win tonight, doesn't mean they're not going to win the division. Doesn't mean they're not going to be representing the NFC again. I'm not going to go out on a limb and say they're going back to the Super Bowl, but I think they can. I think they're going to be a player in this thing. I think San Francisco's gotten better. You can never count New Orleans out with that offense, and Drew Brees got his money. So, there's some other good teams, and Green Bay, of course. How can it affect Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers? I think we're looking at Giants, Green Bay, San Francisco, New Orleans, usual suspects. Cam Newton another year will be a little better. They might even be a playoff team. Who the hell knows? But I think it's going to be pretty much the same players. Probably the Final Four, same as last year, most likely. Stuff can happen. You just don't know, and you can't predict injuries. AFC, popular pick, of course, is New England Patriots. They did improve in the offseason. They made it to the Super Bowl last year. And they did get better. And Belichick, he's a sociopath, but he's a good coach. What can they say? Don't think he's as good a coach since the Spygate thing, which makes you wonder. But his smoke, there's fire. But he's a good X's and O's coach. A very good coach. And Tom Brady's still a very good quarterback. I think Eli Manning, when it comes down to it, more ice in the veins. And I'll tell you, that's one thing. I've said this before, but I don't think I ever said it on camera. Big difference. Everyone talking about Joe Montana, and Tom Brady and all that stuff. Montana won games with touchdowns. He won Super Bowls with a touchdown. They needed a touchdown. He's got the touchdown. At least 2 out of the 3 with New England, it was Adam Vinatieri's leg. And I told my wife, when he went to the Colts, I said to my wife right away, I said, they're not making that big a deal about this, but this could be like a paradigm shift in the AFC, power shift, Peyton Manning, one of the top quarterbacks in the league, hasn't really got it done. Now he's got Vinatieri and Brady doesn't. He doesn't have to get the ball in the end zone maybe to pull a game out at the end. He just needs to get in field goal range because Vinatieri's the man. He's a stud. And look what happened the very first year. Vinatieri goes to New England, Indianapolis. Guess who wins the Super Bowl? Indianapolis Colts. I don't think Vinatieri gets enough credit. Some people are starting to come around, but, you just have to take my word for it. I was a Boy Scout leader. But I did predict that the Colts were going to win the Super Bowl that year because they got Vinatieri and the Patriots lost Vinatieri. So Eli has not won his Super Bowls with field goals. I do not believe. I could be wrong about this last one. I was kind of in a daze watching that thing, but he's gotten touchdowns. He's made big touchdown passes. And to me, that's one of the big differences between him and Brady. Now this last one, the ones that Brady's lost to the Giants, he may have, in fact, come up with a touchdown pass, but he didn't win the game with him. Bottom line, Eli came up with the winning touchdowns, okay? So he's money. But Patriots are going to be good again. They may very well be back to the Super Bowl. I'm hearing a lot of stuff about the Baltimore Colts. I do think Joe Flacco is underrated. I do think he's gotten better. Ray Rice from Rutgers, a local guy, Rutgers. I'm glad he got his money back. They've still got a good defense. They're getting a little long in the tooth. Yeah, Ed Reed and of course Ray. We all know about Ray, but hey, great player. They're getting a little older, but I think they're motivated. It's going to come down to them in Pittsburgh again. I do think Pittsburgh is taking a few steps back. They're getting a little older. Big Ben with his 2-cent head, and he's probably going to keep getting concussions because he doesn't know how to use self-control when he plays. And he may miss some games again because of concussions. Would not surprise me at all. So, people talking about Baltimore Ravens, definitely a possibility. I think Pittsburgh's going to be right in there too. And a lot of people are picking the Texans. They got talent. I picked them 2 years ago, and they kind of really disappointed. And then last year, they kind of started showing what I expected. I always felt bad about David Carr because I felt kind of like, and I think he had more talent than Sanchez, but kind of like what Mark Sanchez has been going through in New York. Carr's first few years, the offensive line was just garbage. It was just garbage. I'm sure he was sacked more in the first 3 years of his career than any quarterback in history. If he wasn't, it's right up there. He's the backup for the Giants now, too, which gives me a lot of confidence that if, God forbid, anything happens to the indestructible Eli Manning, or even just gets the wind knocked out of him, maybe I drop my pen, excuse me. David Carr is a solid quarterback. He's a guy who I think could have taken the Texans to the Super Bowl before if the offensive line did anything. So, Texans could be a player. I think they will be a player this year, too. We'll see about Matt Schaub, He's the guy that the Falcons really didn't want to part with. And then ironically, as soon as they decided to part with him, is when the whole Michael Vick thing hit the fan with the dog fighting and whatnot. So, and then, of course, is Peyton Manning in Denver. All accounts, he's looking pretty good. Now, hasn't taken any serious hits yet, but the vertebrae in the neck were fused. Apparently, they actually are a little stronger now than they were before. The thing is, of course, there's probably a loss of mobility with his neck a little bit because of the fusion. But he's looking good. It's a weak division. I think Oakland's going to be better, but and their defense last year, Denver's defense is what kept them in games. Let's face it, all respect to Tim Tebow and some miracle wins he pulled out of his holy posterior. But, sorry, don't mean to offend, but the defense, the Denver defense, is what kept them in games. If they had the offense last year, they could have been really scary. So now they got Peyton Manning. So I expect Denver to win that division. So in terms of, if you look in the AFC, Denver, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Texas. Will the Jets make the playoffs? Maybe. Everybody seems to think, a lot of people seem to think the fix is in and that by week 8, Tebow's starting, if not before. Man, still can't throw too well. Unlike Stephen A. Smith, who I respect a lot, I'm not going to refer to any adult male quarterback as boy. Any color of skin. That's a little pet peeve of mine, Stephen A., but I love you, and I know you're cool. Maybe you don't think about it, but, you probably should stop saying about Tim Tebow, the boy can throw. He's a man, Stephen A. He's a man. I'm not his biggest fan either. I think he's a baller. He can definitely play, but yeah, he's got to work on his throwing. But this day and age, I don't think anybody who makes an NFL team should be referred to as a bull. Mentally, some of them probably still are. Some of the ones in their 30s still are, but looking back on what's happened in history and all that, that's kind of inflammatory. But that's it. I'm going to mad props Stephen A. I love him. I think he's great. And didn't mean to call him out in the carpet and that, but it's been kind of bugging me that he's been using that term. And like I said, it's not like I love Tim Tebow. I respect his character, don't respect his ability to throw the football either, okay, right now. But I respect his desire to win. I do think Sanchez has got a bad rap with the Jets. The offensive line, is also garbage, like the guys who were protecting David Carr the first few years of his career in Houston. I think that the Jets still can make some noise. because I think it's a weak division. Miami's quarterback could make things interesting, though. Yeah, we got 5 rookies starting this year. So I'm probably going on and on much longer than I should have. I didn't mean to make it go this long, but it's probably the Dayquil I took. It's probably making me lose all concept of time. So got a whole thing about the Yankees, but I'm going to sign off here. So Giants should take care of business tonight with the Cowboys. Do think they can make a run. I'll talk more about this later. And I think I pretty much threw out most of the teams. I think I'm going to do something in the playoffs in AFC. I probably forgot somebody. Kansas City will probably be respectable too. I probably forgot about them. But I do think it's going to be Denver. So that's it for now. Mike the Sports Guy. Expect to see some more regular stuff from me from now on. And hopefully my voice won't be sounding like this after the next couple of days. Enjoy the game tonight, Giants-Cowboys. And I'll see you on YouTube.